Being so persistent that it was also annoying, the doctor removed the seal with a paper knife. Then when he tilted the envelope, an already opened mail envelope spilled out. The envelope had weight to it, hinting that there was something other than a letter inside. The recipient was certainly Nanjo Terumasa. Just seeing that was a huge shock. Following the incident, Nanjo's corpse had not been found, and he had eventually been treated as dead after going missing under extraordinary circumstances. And despite that, this letter addressed to a Nanjo in Hokkaido existed. One could almost take this as a sign that he had faked his own death and escaped to Hokkaido. Of course not, he's dead.
父が何かの事情で事故を逃れ、北海道で存命していたのだとしたら、私たち家族にとっては事情に関わらず嬉しいことです。私も初めはその可能性を考えました。しかし、この封筒の送付先住所は存在しないのです。
This was intended to go back to him.
つまりこの封筒は届くはずのない郵便なのです。
It was intentionally to Nanjo's son.
送付者が正しい住所を書き損じた可能性。
No.
もちろん否定はできません。ですが、住所の番地を見る限り、どうもそうは思えないのです。
北海道礼文島礼文郡礼文町 1-2-34-567
God damn it. Up until Rebun City, it's fine. But I just can't wipe away the feeling that the sequential number after it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 was a little insincere. Felt like a fake number that some kid had made up. It's a fake number, huh? I never would have guessed, huh? Oh, God damn it, Angie. Yeah.
この封筒は初めから存在せず届くはずのない住所に送付されたと考えるのが自然だと思います。
It was intended to go back to his son, and I guarantee it has money in it. For payment for helping with these crimes and giving fake deaths. Or at least fake death diagnoses for the people that need it. And if that's the case and into the third game, it would mean Shannon or Cannon, which in this case I'm going to say Shannon, wasn't dead at that time, and instead her persona as Shannon died. If the destination address doesn't exist, mail is generally returned to the sender. But even in the case of an incomplete address, the local post office will often courteously and to the best of its ability research to find whether the sender's intended destination exists. When they still can't find it, the mail is sometimes returned after an investigation of several days. It seemed that the same thing had happened with this envelope, and the stamp was postmarked on October 3rd. It was postmarked on Nijima. Nijima was a long way away from Rebun Island. October 3rd, that is before the incident, actually. On top of that, the destination was also nonsensical. It had taken more than a week for the mail to be returned. In other words, there's probably a high chance that having the envelope returned to the sender after an unfixed amount of time had been the goal from the very beginning. Why do something like that? Even before asking what it was that had been sent, this envelope was already wrapped in mystery. Give me that letter and understand what that money is. After getting the doctor's permission, I tilted the already opened envelope. From inside came a small folded letter and a small key with a number plate attached. Then a magnetic card slid out. A1112 was engraved on the key's number plate. I don't know what it meant. That seems like a safe number. Like a safety deposit box. The magnetic card was pitch black and had gold characters engraved in it. Members was written in English. The jet black gold lettered card design made it feel like something very high class. But of course I didn't have a clue of what kind of card it was just from that. Is it like just a fucking cash card or something? I unfolded the letter. Its contents were extremely brief and only the following was written. 07151129. That's the same. Oh, is it the same? I think it is. I think that is the exact same. 07151129. It's the same. And that's the key to open it. It is a safety deposit box. Or a passcode to get into said safety deposit box. That has money. It's a bank account type thing. That's a number. That is a PIN number, and that key is to open it as well. This is money. It's a payoff. It is a payment for non-just services. That would mean the way George was killed in that room, and they left that number. It's the same one because it's a type of payment for accidentally killing him. That's exactly what it is. Also written was the name of a certain massive bank known throughout Japan, as well as the words Central Branch. That was all.
これは
That is a payoff.
貸金庫のカードと鍵、そして暗証番号でした。
There we go.
それも普通の貸金庫ではない。特別な顧客のみに許されているらしい不気味な貸金庫でした。
After he finished putting his affairs in order following his father's funeral, he visited the bank. Pin and key and card. There was no doubt that something of great importance was kept there, and he had been naturally curious about what it might be. At first he hadn't known what to do. The card wasn't something he'd owned in the first place. When he mustered up his courage and showed the card to the bank teller, he was then switched to a clerk of clearly higher status, and was guided to a large vault on the 4th basement. The security on the way there was very strict. The doctor had himself stored valuable items such as real estate transcripts and safe deposit boxes before, but this was something on a whole different level.
私の使っている貸金庫の手続きと違い、カードと暗証番号、そして鍵を持っているならば、本人確認は行われないというシステムでした。
Well, yeah, because the likelihood of getting all of those things stolen is pretty low.
ですが、とにかく厳重な金庫室で、その物々しさに怯えました。 こんなところに預けざるを得ないどんな物騒なものが待ち受けているのかと。
それで
カードをリーダーに通すと暗証番号の入力を求められました。そしてそこにある8桁の数字を入力すると認証され、金庫室への入室が認められました。すごい光景でしたよ。 まるで SF 映画のような世界だった。薄暗い銀色の広大な部屋にびっしりと金庫の扉が埋め尽くされているのです。
He had entered the room along with the clerk, and it seemed that as soon as the card was read, the vaults he had a right to were determined. So that safes he could open were lit with the green light, those he couldn't open were lit with the red one.
A11にはそれらの金庫のうちの一つを示すものでした。
Yep.
ちなみにそれ以外の金庫にもずらりと緑ランプが点灯していました。20個以上はあったと思います。
Fuck.
あるいは他の一角にももっとあったのかも。いずれにせよ、私の鍵は A11 にのみ、他の金庫の中身を確かめる術はありませんでしたが。
You know what might be really easy to hide? Bank vault keys inside of a key drawer. I mean, theoretically speaking, it would be a perfect place to hide one, right? As the clerk watched, the doctor had unlocked and opened the safe. How much fucking money's in there? When he did, a safe drawer like a large cabinet had opened, and an expensive-looking duraluminum case peeked out. That was carried into a separate room where, for the first time, the clerk left and he was introduced to the contents.
中身は
Money. How much? 10 billion?
でした。
1 billion?
現金どれほど
新札の100万円の束はちょうど厚みが1センチになると聞いたことがあります。それがこれだけのジュラルミンケースの中にびっしり詰められていたのですから。
10 million? 1 million?
多分
100?
1億はあったでしょう。
Oh yeah.
数えたわけではないからわかりません。
Fuck you, I'd be flipping through those bills one by
手
one.
すら触れませんでしたから。
I would.
私はすぐに直感しました。
That's hush money. That is blood
こ
money.
れは危険な金だと。
That if you want to be really, good about it, that's the police, theoretically. It wasn't normal to store a whole 100 million yen in a cash in a case in a safe like that. It's much easier to deal with it if you put it into an account and turn it into numbers. And turn it into fake money at that point. When someone is unable to do that, it's clear that there's something wrong with that cash.
私は頭が真っ白になり、 すぐに関わり合ってはならないと直感しました。
That's accomplice money right there, and the plot thickens, which would indicate someone solved that epitaph beforehand. And that's how they would know if someone solved it as well, because you wouldn't be able to tell if someone solved it. That someone could claim it, but you need to actually go down there and check and verify. But someone solved it, had money, probably went to Kenzo, told him he solved it, and he probably gave him, like, you know, all the keys, all the areas to get that money. I find that hard to believe, but he probably didn't.
そのまま施錠し直し、元の金庫に預けて立ち去りました。この鍵やカードも捨てようと思いましたが、何が起こるかわからない。そのため誰にも内緒で12年もの間、本棚あれが何の金だったのか、私にも未だにわかりません。
Accomplice money. Blood. Yeah, sure, why not?
いえ、この場で見るだけにしてください。
Never mind. What the fuck? Why do you want it, buddy?
わかりました。では、ちょっと失礼します。調べ物。
I took One-chan's grimoire from my knapsack I had set down. Oh, trying to compare the writing. Then I opened the page with the paragraph Beatrice had written on One-chan, to One-chan, and compared the handwriting on both. Let me guess. There was no mistake about the characteristic handwriting. The one who had sent this 100 million yen in cash was Beatrice herself. Hush money. Nanjo's accomplice. 100%, it's a lock. Thank you for confirming my suspicion. The doctor's in on it. I cannot trust anything he says. Because he's in on it. He's getting paid to help her. And also I need to check a bunch of shit. Because I get so enveloped in the story, I just forget to check this shit, so I apologize for that. Nanjo Masayuki. Nanjo's son inherited the Nanjo clinic. Unlike Nanjo, he seems to be more sobered and different person. After the rampage surrounding Rokkenjima, he grew to completely despise the press. He never spoke again of what happened around the time. He once had a daughter afflicted with an incurable disease, but unfortunately, she wasn't able to live out her natural lifespan. Oh, was it a grandson or granddaughter or just grandchild? Nanjo said he wanted to, that he was worried about, and that's probably what the money's for, actually. A professor at a certain college, well known as an authority on the subject of Western folklore. He's also famous for his hobby researching the Rokkenjima witch legend as the one of the witch hunters. Primary focus on the witch hunt is the pasting together of occult stories to try and make them match the Rokkenjima incident, making it much more of a mental game for dilettantes, fuck it, me, an enthusiast of the mystical than a scientific investigation into the truth of the crime. Professor Utsuki. Kasumi, I don't remember if I've actually read some of these. Daughter of the declining noble family, Sumadara, Kirie's younger sister. She despises her sister and by extension Angie as well. She's opposite of the free-willing person Kirie was and holds appearances in high regard, possessing a strong ambition for philanthropy. However, this is just a craving for the limelight caused by the conflict she has towards her sister. There are several opposing factions in the Sumadara family, and they're constantly engaging in a secret feud over who will control the vast wealth Angie holds. Sakutaro, Maria One-chan's precious friend, very simple, warm, and kind, tends to say Uryu. Didn't Maria One-chan also have a habit of saying this long ago? Which of origin? I think I already read hers. Which of origins will live for 1,000 years. In the future, she holds the motherly magical power to give birth to a one from the Sea of Zero. At a glance, the magical power is frail, but no matter how many times you multiply zero, you never end up with anything more than zero. However, the one she gave birth to will one day surpass even the heavens. She is loyally protected by Beatrice, who understands her true worth. The two of them are members of the same alliance. Oh yeah, strongest, blah blah blah. Mammon, first furniture to become Angie's friend. She stayed by Angie's side throughout her training period, greedily encouraging her master to become a full-time true witch. Very special person even among the 7 sisters. Hell yeah, she is. I mean, come on now. We all know Mammon's best girl. At least in stakes-wise. Least talented, yeah, already saw that. Got him. Angie, not to mind having him around as much. I think I already did his. Okanogi, president of the Foodstuffs Distribution Company. I believe I did him as well. She lived later years in isolation with no one to understand her and is the only survivor from Okanjima. The media gave her the name of Queen of Suspicion. She continued to make reckless expansions. Her later years doing it to harass people. Looking for anyone new. Oh yeah, I'll probably need to do... Oh, I already did her. Sakataro, Lady Maria's white heart, which was torn apart. His broken vessel can only be regenerated by the Meister. Oh, I already fucking read that as well. Gap. One of the 72 great demons, also Beatrice's friend. When a magician demands that she grants the ability of instantaneous movement. She uses this extraordinary power for playing pranks mostly. Her specialty is hiding keys in bags during busy mornings. I have read this as well. Fuck me, I can never remember what I fucking read. And she's still a fucking cunt for doing that. Anyways, now that I've actually caught up on at least Angie's side. God, yeah, I just always, I don't know. I'm more focused on the story, I guess, and just don't pay attention to that stuff. Because I'm just so engrossed in it. But what is it? Something's bugging me. What is it? What could it be? It's hush money, dude. Come on. What the fuck? Who are you?
そんな郵便物が確か届いた気がしますわ。母ちゃん、あれはどこにしまったっけな?
The same envelope and contents had been sent to Kumasawa's son, who had once lived with her. She's an accomplice too. She's in on it too. Never mind, I think there's going to be more than 3 people involved. But he had been very busy in the days since and seemed to have forgotten about it while running around all over the place. However, its strange contents had apparently stayed in his memory, and he remembered as soon as Angie mentioned it to him. After a bit of a wait, his thin-lipped wife found the envelope, complaining that he always forgot where he put things right away. God damn it. Thanks, wife. Kumasawa-san works at the Nijima fishing harbor. He must have gotten his carefree, big-hearted personality from Kumasawa. Many of Kumasawa's sons are fishermen, so they often away from the land for their work. This one happens to work at the harbor, so it was only coincident that I managed to get in touch with him. Kumasawa loved to talk, so I did hope he might have heard her let something slip, but probably not. The modus operandi for the sender and recipient was the same as Nanjo's-san. The sender was made out to be Kumasawa's son, and the recipient was Kumasawa Gio. And the destination address was in the Okinawa Prefecture. Okinawa Prefecture, Yame County, Yonaguchi City, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yonaguchi Island was the westernmost tip of Japan. And the lot name was the exact same sequential number that had apparently been chosen without much care. Now it was certain. This envelope was definitely sent for the goal of having it be returned to the sender. Its contents were exactly the same: a letter with the pin and the bank's main branch written on it, magnetic card, a key with an attached number plate. The inscription of the number plate was A113. The number right after the one on the key had been sent to Nanjo. Most likely inside of the vault was the same kind of duraluminum case packed with 100 million yen in it, cash. It's accomplice money. That's all it has to be.
中身もよくわからんし、薄気味悪いんでずっとほったらかしにしてて、今日まですっかり忘れてたんですわ。お嬢さんはこれが何かご存知なんですかね。ひょっとしてあんたんとこにも同じものが。
I wish.
どうしたんです？エンジ様。うりょ、頭痛。
Wait, did she actually get one of these as well? Because then that would be very interesting. Never mind.
刺さってる。知ってる。知ってるって何を？まさかこの封筒エンジ様のところにも？
Well, that'll blow out my fucking theory, unless it's like an apology money that they died. I've remembered. A strange envelope was sent to me 12 years ago. Oh, fucking course. It's an apology. For killing him, probably. After losing my entire family, I was depressed. But it was a really strange thing to come in the mail, and so I still had a faint memory of it. It was a strange letter which I had no memory of sending, but which had me as the sender. I forgot the destination address, but the name recipient had been Ushirimiya Rudolph, my father. I remember how disturbed I was when I got a letter and I thought it was from father, opened it up, and found a key and a card that I did not really understand. And I felt let down and threw it away somewhere, I think. Where did I put the envelope? I probably lost it somewhere in the chaos that followed. By now I have no way of checking its contents. However, I have a general idea. I'm sure the contents were the same. Without a doubt, there had been a key, a card, and a note with a pen inside the envelope. Only thing I could assume is apologies for the murder. But it doesn't make sense, though. At the same rate, it just doesn't make sense. Why apologize for something when you're doing it anyway? Maybe those are like affected by the loss, but had nothing to do with it, give money. You know, like say to quote, ease the pain of losing him maybe. I still think Nanjo and Kumasawa were in on it. I don't think Rudolph was though. That wouldn't make sense. Unless maybe he was. Sakataro acted nervously. As I looked at his worrying face, my agitation began to cool off bit by bit. Yeah, really. You could help me hang in there. I don't think so. I think it's an apology for taking away their loved ones. I think that's what it is. I don't think Beatrice is completely heartless here. It would be, well, I mean, you have to be kind of heartless to kill a bunch of people, but I don't think completely heartless. I don't know. Kumasawa died earlier. I was gonna say like maybe after, since Ava solved it after the first one, then like anyone killed after that by Beatrice, like she sent money to apologize for. But that breaks the rule with Kumasawa, so it has to be. But apologizing for the murders and also probably help paying off some people. As Sakataro buried his head in my stomach, he urged me to stay calm. I took another deep breath and started thinking. Yes. And it's also, it actually goes to speak to their nature. That they're very cocky. They're very self-absorbed, thinking that they can't be stopped. That they know they're going to succeed. That they're that conceited. That they know that they're fine. That it doesn't matter.
確実？
ええ、だって何日で郵便が戻ってくるかなんて事前には想像もできないじゃない。郵送先の郵便局が調査し、送付先不明と判断し返送するまでの期間なんて普通は想像もできない。
You know for a fact it won't be 1 day though, or 2 days really. And by then 2 days is enough. Unless you're doing like, overnight shipping. I mean, that would be stupid. Just regular shipping, it's gonna take more than 2 days, and I don't know what... I could look up the October... 1984, October 3rd. It might be a weekend or something. Actually, no, it was a weekend. For the 5th. And over that whole thing. The family conference was on a weekend. So you wouldn't actually have to worry about it being sent back before the ceremony would have taken place. So actually, I wouldn't even really feel bad about it. That's a very certain thing.
そういえばそうだね。ちゃんと到着の期日を決めて、そういう郵便で出した方が確実なのよね。うりゅう。
I think it's a taunting method in the sense that they know they're going to succeed.
まあでも前日に投函したんならどんなに早く戻ってきてもきっと月曜日以降に到着になったでしょうし。
Exactly.
死者からの手紙を気取りたかったんじゃないかしら。
死者からの手紙か。確かにね。
Of course she's right. Go on now.
あれは驚くし嫌な気持ちになるわ。死んだ家族の名前が表に大きく書かれている郵便物が物々しい付箋付きで郵便受けに放り込まれているんだから。でも私は何か腑に落ちないわ。
Actually, when you say it like return to sender with, a family's name on it that's died, that actually is really fucked. Like when you think of it like in like, because you usually like, you can say like, return to sender, like, put him back into like the afterlife and all that shit. Take away his body and all that. That's actually kind of fucked when you think about it that way.
私だったら期日指定郵便にする。ひょっとしたら想定しない日に届くかもしれないという不安定さが私にはどうしても理
They
解できない。
didn't worry about it arriving on 1 day. They just planned on it arriving after the incident happened. And it happened on a weekend, so it was fine. They knew it wasn't going to be delivered.
うりゅう。でも確かにそういうのベアトらしいかなって思う。
え、あなたベアトのことわかるの？
Yeah, him and Maria talked with her.
ちょっとしかお話ししたことないけど、でもベアトならこういうことをするかなってのがなんとなくわかるの。マモンもなんとなく想像がつかない？ベアトってこういういたずら好きだよね。確かにそうかも。ベアドリージ様なら死者からの手紙みたいな悪質ないたずらはやりかねないと思います。それだけじゃなくて絶対確実な方法じゃなくてちょっぴり不確実な方法の方をベアトリーチェは面白がるの。
不確実な方法を面白がる？
Yeah, without risk, there's no magic, right? I remembered Maria's diary. It described playing with Beatrice very often. During those times, Beato sometimes played pranks on the adult relatives with Maria. But those pranks always had a touch of witch aesthetics. On the adult relatives. Relatives would imply that she hung out with Beatrice on the island, probably during the family conferences, because that's really seems to be the only time that they really spend time with other family members. Because it doesn't seem like Rosa and Maria really get out that much. Or at least Maria. Kind of tragic and a little dark right there, but... And so it would imply that Beatrice is on the island. Which, guess who else is on the island? Shannon.